Greetings. Oh. Greetings, everyone. This is Cassandra Floyd. This is Cassandra Floyd, also known as Daughter of the Fates. And I am going to do a very quick read today because I am going to a concert this evening. Let's see. Yeah, today has been a day of days. And I want to, first of all, I want to say today is my sister's birthday. Erica Denise Floyd. She was born Erica Denise Larice. Now she is, and thank you. So today is my baby sister's birthday. My womb mate, my little sister, and she's in the Dominican Republic. She's a missionary. She's been doing mission work now 22 years, I think, between Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And I just want to wish my sister, she will never see this because she don't watch my she don't watch my channel, I'm sure, for fear of what she might see or hear. But I still want to take the time to send that energy down her way. And then it's also the 14th anniversary of the loss of my first cousin, Michael DeAndre Miller, died on this day 14 years ago. And that shit sent a shockwave through our whole family because, one, like I've said before, me and my cousins, we grew up like siblings. Like, all of us. There was 24 of us on my mama's side. 24 first cousins on my mama's side. And we grew up like siblings. We spent every summer together. We, like, even now, as old as we are, we love each other. And DeAndre, when he died, and he was so young, and I think he might have been 28, if he was even that old when he passed away. And he had done 2 or 3 tours of duty, active tours of duty in the military, to come home and die in a car accident. And so anyway, I've been thinking about him a lot today, and my sister a lot today, and my mama a lot today, because my mama gave birth to my sister on this day. So anyway, it's been a pretty interesting day. So those of you who are tuning in via Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you can see on the bottom of the screen ways that you can contribute to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Also, if you are interested in readings or in wellness consults for me, you can email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. That being said, I'm going to get right into it because I want to be done by 6 o'clock. All right. So for those of you who have been, tuning in, greetings, my Amy. For those of you who've been tuning in, we're reading The Great Cosmic Mother. No, we ain't. We are reading Pure Lust by Mary Daly. Let me turn my fan around. What is this? The other thing, that day, November 1st, it is hot. It's been so nice and cool the last few days. Today it is hot as hellfire. Let me just hide out this piece. And so, turn the fan around. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who have been trucking with me along the way, I am on page 238. Oh, so just so you know, I sent some of you an email, those of you who emailed me. And I haven't posted on Facebook yet, but I am not doing the Zoom, obviously, today because I'm going to a concert. It was last minute, but I decided, yes, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to a concert literally in about an hour and a half. But I already have the Zoom made. So we will be doing the Zoom version of the book club every Wednesday until we move through this book. So I have it scheduled for us to be done on January 31st, every Wednesday till January 31st. We might be done sooner than that, but that's when I have it scheduled for on the Zoom. So tomorrow I will send out the Zoom link to everyone for next Wednesday, which is when we'll start doing the 5 o'clock Zoom. So what I am going to probably do is, since we will be doing a Zoom, the Zoom book club via Zoom, I might pre-record a reading to air through StreamYard at the same time. That way I can still keep on schedule. I wish it was chilly. She said it's freezing. I don't wish it was freezing, but I wish it was cool. It's like diabolically hot. Like I had to turn on the AC today. It's hot. It's uncommonly hot. But anyway, yeah. So next Wednesday, book club, and then I'll do like a simultaneous air of the read. All right, cool. That's it. So we're on the chapter. We're on page 238. We're on the section entitled Untouchables and Touchables Compared. Websters have become increasingly aware that the method of analogy is enlightening, for we have seen on many occasions that our creatively passionate understanding is enhanced through seeing connections among apparently desperate phenomena. Desperate phenomena. Bearing in mind that the situations compared are comparable precisely because they are also different from each other, we can proceed to uncover several points of comparison and contrast between the situation of the touchables and that of the Hindu untouchables. First, a choice of how low caste status is ascribed to women as touchables as well as to the members of the untouchable caste. Women are said to have chosen this condition, and this ascribed pseudo-choice legitimates our touchable caste status. Even in our own eyes, Hindu untouchables also have been encouraged to believe that their low caste status is the result of choice, in the sense that it is supposedly the consequence of transgressions committed in previous incarnations. Passive acceptance of their condition is thus fostered by the Hindu doctrine of transmigration of souls. Barrington Moore writes, quote, "Thus, evil and misfortune in this life are due to transgressions, particularly transgressions against the Brahman in the preceding life. If, on the other hand, according to these beliefs, the individual accepts fate patiently and fulfills the duties of caste, the reward will be to be born into a higher caste in the next incarnation." Oh my God, that's so gross. So gross. So gross. And isn't it convenient that the people primarily born into caste are dark and other and feminine? The majority. How convenient. If this rationalization appears totally unlike the preferred, if this rationalization appears totally unlike that preferred to women to legitimate our touchability, Fury should think twice. For women are taught to believe that female suffering is the result of the acts or sins of our mothers and foremothers. Indeed, this is a basic canon of Socratic psychology. It implies that our oppressed condition was in some way chosen by these women, who can be seen as our previous incarnations. And, of course, when women who have inherited such a karma become mothers, these in turn choose touchability for their daughters. What is rendered invisible by this ideology and its ensuing cyclic consequences is the fact that patriarchal mothers, forced to become token torturers, function as instruments of female touchability. They are moved by the bosses of boredom in ways not comprehensible to these instruments and victims. The second point of comparison, implied in the first, is that both in the case of Hindu untouchables and in that of women as touchables, injustice is made to resemble justice. Ugh. Injustice is made to resemble justice. Well, don't that sound familiar? Thus, as we have seen, just as the doctrine of reincarnation functions to legitimate the degradation of the untouchables, so also mother-victim blaming ideologies function as hidden reversals, legitimating the degradation of the touchable caste. In the case of the touchable caste, however, there is such a demonic degree of contrived ambiguity in the primary legitimating ideologies that the transformation of female ignorance requires a special analysis, one quite distinct from the usual sociological analyses of untouchables. Next, must take into account, for example, that mothers, although they are continually blamed for all the ills of society, oh fuck. Although they are blamed for all the ills of society, are often honored in boredom. This maze of double talk, double images, double treatment can be broken only by the labors of furiously focused analysis. Such Amazonian analysis uncovers the duplicity, disguising not only the fact of injustice, but also the baffling complexity of the conditions of the universal low caste status of women. Ooh. Damn. The fact of women's low caste status is marked by sex role segregation, which is more subtle than spatial segregation. By women, let's see. The fact of women's low caste status is masked by sex role segregation, which is more subtle than spatial segregation, by women's derivative status resulting from connections with men, and by patriarchal ideologies. Thus, since women are derivative since women are derivative beings by patriarchal standards. This fact obscures our low caste status within all castes, classes, races, nations, as well as subgroups such as professions and social movements, including socialist, third world, and gay rights movements. Oh shit, shots fired. As derivative beings, women share in some of the privileges and many of the hardships of their male possessors. For example, as white, wealthy, or middle class, many women have advantages over many sisters in other echelons of the patriarchal world, as well as over many men of the oppressed races, classes, nations, and other groups. As the women's movement has grown more powerful, more global, this fact of derivative status has been used to serve the divide and conquer tactics of the patriarchy. It has been used by men to render the patriarchy itself invisible to women, to distract from the fact that we are the touchable caste within all classes and races. Obedient to the classic rules and roles for token torturers, some women predictably give knee-jerk responses to these tactics. The conversion of women into token targets of token torturers masks the inherent injustice of patriarchy itself and obliterates understanding of the universality of the sexual caste system. It is precisely because they concede that classism and racism are evil and oppressive that some women, frightened of seeing the universality of patriarchy, can be confused by short-sighted tactics. For it is terrifying to know that the evil triad of sexism, racism, and classism is a manifestation of planetary phallicism. Ooh, fuck. Oh, shit. Damn. She says, it is precisely because these women, they can see that classism and racism are evil and oppressive, and that some women, frightened of seeing the universality of patriarchy, can be confused by short-sighted tactics. For it is terrifying to know that the evil triad of sexism, racism, and classism is a manifestation of planetary phallicism. Oh. Phallicism, defined euphemistically as the worship of or reverence for the generative principle in nature as symbolized especially by the phallus, is in fact the ideology and practice ideology and practice consequent upon and reinforcing the belief that God is male and that the male is God. Oh, hey, facts don't care about your feelings. It is the negation of female potency. Thus, universal religion of phallocracy is the basis of the sexual caste system, and under its rapist reign, women of all nations, races, and classes on this planet are touchable. Only by understanding this context of universal gynocide can women begin to think, speak, and act beyond phallic justice and injustice, and to bring forth the reigns of nemesis. Yo! Child, y'all don't want to have this conversation about the goddess Nemesis, okay? Because she keep bringing her up, and with good reason. The third point of comparison and contrast between the untouchables and the touchables is the fact that loathing, disgust, and pollution are associated with these castes. This is true of women, but it is masked by such pseudo-dichotomies as pure versus impure, good versus bad, healthy versus sick women. It takes time to realize that the derivative status of women who have male protection does not change the basic status of all women as whores, as polluted. Bamboozlement characterizes female degradation. The peculiar nature of the pollution ascribed to all women by the ideologies of phallicism may perhaps be perceived better by looking at specific prohibitions inflicted upon untouchables. I will consider 3 examples. A. In earlier times, in some parts of India, an untouchable had to shout warnings when entering a street so that higher caste persons could get out of the way of his or her contaminating shadow. B. In many parts of India, untouchables formerly had to carry brooms in order to brush away their footprints in the dirt behind them if they entered streets used by other Hindus. And C. There were prohibitions against untouchables entering any Hindu temple or higher caste Hindu's house, and against using water from the common village well. There is a certain logic, albeit a horrifying logic, in these sanctions, viewed as practical conclusions drawn from the assumption that untouchables are polluted and polluting. If we consider the touchable caste, however, the situation is more complex. Although women throughout the planetary caste system are blamed for male lechery and thus considered dirty, there is little reason to be alarmed that males will stay clear of our contaminating shadows. In fact, males shadow women using obscene touches, obscene words on the streets, in movie theaters, in bars, in churches, in the home, over the telephone, never allowing women to have our space, our shadows for ourselves. Carrying a broom to wipe out footprints is an apt metaphoric illustration of a problem that women do not have in one sense, but do have in another. For the patriarchs have prevented us from making footprints or traces of our thoughts. When we have managed to leave such traces, the phallocrats themselves have erased them. In their customary manner, however, they also have used women to do the dirty work, the sweeping away of our own footprints in the proverbial sands of time. God damn it. Women, as token erasers, do this to each other and most horribly to ourselves by erasing and hiding from ourselves our own experiences, perceptions, creative potential, and actual achievements. Damn! I'm on page 2. I'm at the bottom of page 241, Mon Amy. I'm gonna read that whole paragraph again. That is fire as hell. That's fire. That's fire. Damn. Why she stay going the fuck off? All smooth like too. Just stay going the fuck off. For those of you tuning in via IG and do not know what I am talking about, I am reading the book Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. We are on page 241, last paragraph. Carrying a broom to wipe out footprints is an apt metaphoric illustration of a problem that women do not have in one sense and do have in another sense. For the patriarchs have prevented us from making footprints and traces of our thoughts. When we have managed to leave such traces, the phallocrats themselves have erased them. In their customary manner, however, they also have used women to do the dirty work, the sweeping away of our own footprints in the proverbial sands of time. Women, as token erasers, do this to each other and most horribly to ourselves by erasing and hiding from ourselves our own experiences, perceptions, creative potential, and actual achievements. Women do this out of terror, and the result is continual diminishing of self-esteem and consequently increasing terror. As for prohibitions against entering the houses of the upper caste, clearly the situation is reversed, for women are confined in the houses belonging to males and certainly do use water from the common well to cook and scrub for their masters. However, women are prohibited from male houses in the sense of boys' clubs, men's associations, and the undermining is all the more lethal because largely invisible to the victims. The fourth point of the comparison between touchables and untouchables is the fact that in both cases, the underlings have absorbed the dominant beliefs of the higher caste. The oppressors are perceived as having moral authority. God damn. More attributes the almost total lack of open revolt among the untouchables to this internalization. Yet, it would be simplistic and in fact false to see acceptance of oppression and possession as issuing solely from within the psyche of the victim. There are real and terrible sanctions against stepping out of line. In the cast of women, feminists have long understood that there are continual bombardments with messages, threats, and real punishments. Threats of rape and woman battering, for example, are omnipresent. Nancy Henley's discussion of gestures of dominance explains the omnipresence of these sanctions, which often rear their threatening heads in modes that are not obvious. Henley cites Nicole Anthony's open letter to the psychiatrists. Quote, sometimes in the middle of a heated discussion with a man, a strong woman finds herself acting chimp-like, submitting. I'm oppressing myself, she thinks. If we filmed the scene, we would see that what really happened was that he gave her a gesture of dominance and she submitted in fear. There's no need to submit, the psychiatrists say. Another lie. If a woman refuses to respond to the gestures of dominance, she is frequently physically attacked. A wife needs only to be hit by a husband larger and heavier than she. Thereafter, the most fleeting subliminal gesture will serve to remind her of the cost of rebellion. The moments of internalization are really the moments when we respond to gestures of dominance. They are not inside our heads. Another woman makes the point concisely. The forms of female behavior that are our contemporary the forms of female behavior that our contemporary ideologues have called internalized self-hate or masochism are usually just a logical response to a man's gesture of dominance. Women have spent years on the psychiatric couch hunting down a non-existent internal enemy. Yo. Oh my God. Oh my God. Damn. Child, she said we done spent many a years laying on the psychiatric couch hunting down a non-existent internal enemy. The enemy is always external. I would empathize, however, that women have internalized their submissive role. Of course, this role is reinforced continually by external gestures that carry subliminal messages. A fifth point concerns sharp divisions which set off subcastes among the untouchables. It actually has happened that in parts of India, there are pure untouchables who consider themselves above the impure untouchables who still eat beef. One can think also of the pure women of patriarchy who have been made to feel superior to impure women. Of course, both of these subcastes women are touchable, but by different males and sometimes in different ways. Even celibate women who have dedicated their lives to the male god and or to careers in male-identified professions, however sexually pure they may be, are touchable and touched mentally and emotionally. Such women can be touchable physically as well for many of the physical disorders commonly called psychosomatic are traceable to this disordered mental emotional touchability. The fifth point, which concerns what I would call division by delusion, names an important aspect of the tragedy of women within patriarchy. For we are not simply divided into subcastes such as whores versus wives. Our peculiar caste status keeps us divided in the deepest way from ourselves and from each other. The endless touchability required by the lecherous controllers of the caste system has precisely the effect of making women unable to touch ourselves and each other. While fixated in this state, we cannot move. We are unmovable. Touchability and taboo. It is taboo for women intimately and ultimately to touch each other. An ordinary encyclopedia gives the following explanation of taboo. Quote, Polynesian word denoting taboo, a Polynesian word denoting persons, places, things, or acts which are to be shunned. In modern anthropology, it embraces all prohibitions enforced by magico-religious sanctions, fortified by fear of ill luck, disease, or death. The primal taboos were totemic. Taboo to be taboo came to be, excuse me, Taboo came to concern itself with vital crises, especially childbirth and death. And when kingship and priesthood emerged, it was utilized for protecting property and privilege. The violator of a taboo is himself taboo, lest his transgression should become contagious. End quote. Damn, what did I just spend a whole freaking hour talking to y'all about the other day about my personal taboos within the E5 tradition and how when I consciously decided to break my taboos. Excuse me. Let's see what time it is. Okay. For the touchable caste, the acts which are required to shun are those which express legitimate and creep deep elemental connections between and among women, connections which are intellectual, passionate, erotic, and psychic, and which imply deep respect, honor, caring, gratitude, and commitment. Seen and heard within the dimensions of psychic expansion beyond these conditions, they are simply natural acts of women, wild and weird. The taboo against these natural acts is enforced by magico-religious sanctions and is fortified by phallic injections of fear, so that women have realistic terror of ill luck, disease, or death inflicted by men if we touch and become positively touchable by each other. Taboo against our most natural acts is the most primal taboo. It is essential for protecting males' property and privilege. For the sustaining of patriarchy, it is prior in importance to taboos concerning other matters. For example, incest, which men impose upon themselves and regularly violate with impunity. Focused and complete violation by women of the most unnatural taboo would undermine and overturn phallic rule. Y'all heard? Did y'all hear what I just said? Focused. Oh my God, what did I just say? Focused in complete violation by women of the most unnatural taboos would undermine and overturn phallic rule. Okay? Therefore, this taboo against expression and expansion of ontological female connectedness is totalitarian. It's total. The violator of this taboo is herself taboo, for her transgression is contagious. Oh! God damn it. Whoa! Whoa. Therefore, this taboo against expression and expansion of ontological female connectedness is totalitarian. The violator of this taboo is herself taboo, for her transgression is motherfucking contagious. Once she start breaking the taboos, baby, everybody start breaking the taboos. Okay? Since wild, natural women are taboo breakers of the millennia, we are taboo, and our transgressions are incalculably courageous and contagious. God damn! Oh, I felt that in my spirit. Oh, yeah. This little section here might be the theme of our event, y'all. I have been lamenting and woeing and frying my brain trying to figure out what kind of event we are going to do as the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence before this year ends. This might be it. This might be the event, y'all. This might be the event. Oh my God. Yes. This might be. Woo! Woo! Shy goddamn. Transgression is from the Latin transgressio, meaning act of crossing or passing over. To transgress means to go beyond limits set or prescribed by law or command, to break and violate. And it means to pass beyond or go over a limit or boundary, to cross. The adjacent seas transgressed almost all the coast, according to J.B. Bird. Transgressing women go beyond limits set and fixed by lecherous laws. We pass beyond bureaucracy's boundaries. While in certain dimensions of our activities, we live on the boundaries of patriarchal institutions, in our deepest dimensions of being, we pass beyond these boundaries. We pass beyond our former limits. We become and are other, finding our original otherness. We break the terrible taboos. We become terrible taboo. By this crossing, we are outrageous and contagious. Taboo, we are tidal, transgressing coast, coasting freely. Y'all goddamn. Fuck. Truly taboo women ride the waves. Excuse me. Truly taboo women ride the tides of connectedness. God damn. Yes, we have seen through the trickster's attempts to stem our tide by tying separate and partial transgressions into tidy boxes labeled trade-offs. They would have us preoccupied with breaking partial taboos, offering us the delusion that the part is the whole. Thus, they offer deviant sexual preference as liberally acceptable taboo breaking on the condition that the buyer swear intellectual professional allegiance to the men's association. Accepting such snoozeless compromise is labeled bravery and praised as prudent. Once again, they offer deviant career choice as reward for cementing connections with old boys in the customary manner of choosing boors as bedfellows. Oh my God. She is going the whole fuck off. Damn. Terrible woman. A terrible woman earns this type. She says a terrible woman earns this title by breaking the whole taboo, consistently performing natural acts, giving allegiance to her own kind. Her motive is not zeal for martyrdom, but zest for life. Yes. God damn. Yo. Her motive is not zeal for martyrdom. Oh my God. Her motive is zest for life. Woo! What she wants is nothing less than original wholeness. She touches this in herself by the sense of touch that is defined as to reach the heart of or secret of, guess at correctly, to fathom. In by this sense, she touches other women who themselves awaken to touch others into otherness. Contagion spreads, the touchers move, touching women, see, touch, through the fallacious phallic dichotomy implied in the misleading expression only skin deep. Since males in the state of obsession require penile penetration to believe that they have made contact, the vast expanse of surface knowledge of touching is underestimated, unexplored, as Nicole Broussard has shown. Wild, sensuous sagacity is skin deep, which means it is sensitive to others, spiraling to trees, winds, mountains, seas. It is gynecological. It is ecological, because she does the book gynecology, gynecological, affectionate. The soul is on the surface as well as in the depths. The soul that touches, breathes, loves, lusts, explores is surface soul. It need not seek the false depths, which phallic philosophy drones about and drowns out. The surface soul is in touch with the air, the earth, fire, and waters. She is in contact, communion. Her tactics are tactile, her triumphs and trials tangible. Her travels are outward. She cannot be tracked down, trod upon, or trained. Woo! Listen. Her flights are etheric and aerial. She is aura, force field, glowing with gynergy. Her expanses are astral, her contacts cosmic. The female soul is sensate, lusty, inspired, and fired. She is ethereal and material. Concerning the pattern of the surface of the sea, Rachel Carson writes, quote, "Nowhere in all the sea does life exist in such bewildering abundance as the surface waters." Further on, she notes, quote, "With these surface waters, through a series of delicately adjusted, interlocking relationships, the life of all parts of the sea is linked. What happens to a diatom in the upper sunlit strata of the sea may well determine what happens to a cod laying on the ledge of some rocky canyon 100 fathoms below, or to a bed of multicolored, gorgeously plumed sea worms carpeting an underlying shoal, or to a prawn creeping over the soft oozes of the sea floor in the blackness of mile-deep water." End quote. Cut off from our surfaces, our skins, sheer. Women have been robbed of our lives, bewildering abundance. We have been deprived of delicately adjusted interlocking relationships with all parts of the seas, which are ourselves, our souls, our home. We have been robbed of the keys, the clues that link our lives in complex, changing patterns. Deprived of our powers of touching, women have in fact been skinned alive. Oh my God. In order to reclaim our skins, rename our skins, we must think further about the frightening subject of taboo. That's where I'm gonna stop, because it's almost 6 o'clock and I gotta get ready for my concert. You feel me? But let me just tell you about what this woman just wrote up in this book right here. Okay? Let me tell you what happened. What had happened was, on this here blood moon we just came up out of, I said a prayer to the mother. Yes, at that home where that young woman irritated every last one of my raw ass nerves, I said a prayer to the mother. Because I came out there deliberate. I came out there on a mission. So under that tree, under that moon, by that fire, with them 5 little raccoons prancing across the yard, I told the mother, you know what I desire. You know what my heart desires to do with the temple. I desire to make something happen, an event. I desire to make a scene, like I told y'all a few weeks ago. I desire to make a scene. I did not want to be haphazard, and I did not want to be too overly spontaneous either about coming up with an event just for the sake of saying that the temple did an event. I said, I want to be shown what is it the nature of the event that we should do? So I'm gonna tell y'all what I have been kind of obsessing over since August. Since July actually. I had been obsessing over doing an event that will probably be an event that we do later, but it is not the time. That is what I had been sensing, which is why I've been procrastinating about putting it out in public, right? It's a great, fucking phenomenal idea, but its time was not now. That's why I kept deliberating, right? And so I knew there was a reason I was deliberating, because in my spirit, I felt like this was not the time, right? And especially given the occurrences of this last month, it is definitely not the time for the event that I wanted to do. So I'm actually not going to tell you what it is, because I don't want nobody to bite my shit. And I keep saying that because people keep biting my shit, yo. People keep sending me videos, people keep sending me shit where motherfuckers bite my shit and don't say my name. And I have a problem with it. And I'm going to start calling y'all out by y'all motherfucking names and putting y'all on blast, because you can't possibly believe what you say if you some kind of spiritually enlightened, I want to change the world type motherfucker, but every time you turn around, you stealing from others. That shit is gross, and you cannot believe what you say. So I'm going to put you out as the pariah that you are. I am going to put your ass on blast as the charlatan that you are. You can't possibly give a fuck about the world if you do not respect Black women and their creative exploits. This anything that comes out of my mouth that is not mine, I cite. Anything that is mine, let me tell you something. If you do not cite me as the origin of where you got the idea, because this is work I do. This is my peculiar experience that allows me to come up with and see and understand the connections that are being placed in front of me. Do not bite my shit without crediting me. Now that diatribe is over. That's why there's certain things I'm not putting out in mass, because motherfuckers steal. It's not white people doing that. It's people that look like me laying up on my shit and then literally taking words out of my mouth and putting themselves forward as the one that came up with the shit. I have a problem with this. So anyway, we have, and now we'll just keep it that general. We have from this reading the content for our event as the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. So everybody listening, everybody watching who is interested in helping me to build this event, because now that I have the event, I told Spirit, make it plain. And the event that I wanted to do, it is not the time for it. Now is not the time for it. So I need you to make it clear. I need you to make it plain. What is the content? What is the basis? What is the theme for that which we should do as the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence as our very first kickoff event? Make it plain. Make it clear. Baby, this shit right here is loud the fuck clear. No, sis, it's not going to be an online event. Although I am almost 1,000% positive that what we do, I will make it available online. I will make it available. I will make sure that people are able to watch it online. But it's going to be right here in LA. It's going to be right here in LA. And yeah, the event that I wanted to do, it's dynamite. It's a dynamite goddamn, ain't nobody nowhere. I've never heard, never seen nobody nowhere do anything even remotely close to this event that I wanted to do. But this period is not the time. There's too much going on in the world, and that is more a celebratory type of event, like a gleeful celebratory, and that ain't it. This whole thing, this read right here we just did, this is the event. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get ready to close this read off, but I am just going to say that so I can tell you this, that when I'd already had the date etched in my consciousness, because it's November 1st. Ain't got that much time to build no shit. You feel me? I have been known to make jack moves. I have been known to make shit happen. like radical shit happened in no time. But now it's official. We've got about 7 weeks to plan. Now that we have the basis. Spirit is so genuine, just so generous. Because I told her Saturday, please make it plain. I need to do an event. I need to set this shit off. I need to kick into overdrive what the temple is trying to do. Make it plain. This is plain. This is plain. This butt naked right here. So the event date is going to be the week of the winter solstice. I know. Everybody want to do an event on the solstice. I get it. And I will completely understand if people are like, that's some time that I do X, Y, and Z. But this is what we're going to do. It is going to be the days surrounding the solstice. So I would like to see it, ambitiously, I would like to see it be an event. I've already have it marked on the calendar. Ambitiously, I would like, you know what? Ambitiously, I would like to see it happen from the 21st to the 23rd. If that cannot happen, December 22nd. December 22nd. Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe just the 21st and the 22nd. Yeah. Maybe just the 21st and the 22nd. That might do. 12, 22. Yeah, that might do. Okay, so I'll let y'all know. I'm gonna go ahead after I get back from this concert tonight and start working on a proposal for the event. Those of you who are interested in helping organize the event, you do not have to be local to help me organize the event. You can help me. I've organized a committee. Yes, the solstice and the day after the solstice. So I'll just go ahead and tell you the day after the solstice. The 22nd, December 22nd is Global Orgasm Day. Global Orgasm Day, which is kind of what I wanted to do the first event around. But December 22nd is Global Orgasm Day. December 21st is the winter solstice. And so, yes, those are the days that I'm proposing. I will draw up over the next 24 hours an official proposal for those of you who would be interested. I have organized committees and events from not in the same state that I'm in. So this is not something that's new to me. I can organize an event with people, committee members that are not from the area. So if you're interested in helping me organize this event that we are going to do based on this reading on this day, email me event interest. Email me in the subject header, event interest. Okay? That way I can put you in a specific folder in my contacts. Event interest. If you're interested in helping me organize this event, because it is going to be the solstice and the day after the solstice, 2-day event. I'll come up with an idea overnight. So that I will meditate on overnight, and I'll be prepared to tell you guys before the weekend, because we got to come out the gate swinging. This our event, y'all. This our event. So with that being said, I'm going to officially end this read for today. We will pick up tomorrow on page 246 at the bottom section entitled Untwisting the Terrible Taboo. Man. This is exciting. Okay, so that's all. I got to finish getting dressed. I'm going to my show. I'm so excited. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Be bountiful. Be abundant. Be prosperous. Aligned with justice. I will.